As Papa Kilo Hoko, I was taught by my grandfather when I was 4 years old, the moon cycles, the sun cycles, the stars. And one thing that I do know that's coming up, which is Eala moment for our Hawaiian people, is the second week of September 2015. The occupier, the United States, is going to collapse economically. They're going to become a debtor country, and the wake-up call will be our Hawaiian identity, because since the Organic Act of 1900, they tried to scrub our memories that we're not Hawaiian. They wanted to make us apple pies, and they forbid us to speak our olelo. And to talk about the Queen, you could be in prison. Standard English schools wipe away our memory of our identity. It goes back to the missionaries who came to say, hey, brothers and sisters, we got our hand on your wheel, okay? We got the ship of state for the Hawaiian Kanaka Maoli. No, take your hand away. We know better. That was when we lost our sovereignty. So what we did is we went to the heart of greed and lust in Las Vegas on Main Street to the Hotel California 13th floor, and we performed a ritual with other cultural practitioners. We asked Keakua to take back our sovereignty from the United States missionary families who stole it from us when they lied to us. Keakua said yes, and from that moment, streaming from all the ancestors of all the missionaries that came to Hawaii all over the world, the sovereignty left them April 7, 2013. Streamed all over the world. A cultural practitioner saw it like a nene goose flying back home. Okay, that's when we lost it. Okay, it's come back home. Other practitioners the same day on Maui saw it coming back. So there's no excuse. What you have to realize is your greatest weapon is your genealogy. Your genealogy is your identity of who you are as Kanaka Maoli. It is tied to the land. Even in the Americans' own law, in land court, there's no statute of limitation on frauds. This whole thing is a fraud. In 1899, the Kue petition stopped the annexation of Hawaii. There's no pala for the United States to claim legally this land. People criticized Queen Liliuokalani wrongly. They said she was weak, we didn't fight. They were wrong. She knew what she was doing. There's something called spoils of war. How do you think the Indians lost all their land? The white guys say, war on your butt, and we won, so we get your land. That never happened to us. They have no pala, and we didn't go to war against them. Everybody knows in law, we are our rightful people. Anytime we can have a Hawaiian spring or Hawaiian summer, like an Arab spring and an Arab summer. What is the thing stopping us from doing it? Hawaiians are bought and paid for. See, it's called, in law, there is something called a verbal contract. Judge Judy is on TV all the time with people that did verbal contracts. It counts. You see, the only way the United States could have any kind of semblance of agreement to hold us is they turned us into a big bishop of state. We are the only state that in its preamble calls trust. We are a trust. And who's the trustee? America. They captured us, and any Kanaka Maoli, and you don't know this, all your name is capitalized. And you know, they only in law capitalize dead people. So guess what? We're living zombies. We're the walking dead people. They said it. We never knew. They never let us know that we're dead, and they're controlling our land like a big bishop of state. That's why if you look at our Constitution, it says for the trust. Now, why is it a trust? California don't have that. Texas wanted to be a part of the U.S. We said no. So under what authority in international law can they recognize their authority? They can't. Which means that any time the Kanakas can take it back. It's all our water to carry. But Hawaiians don't know how under their law. If you certify your genealogy and you certify your royal patents that shows that you are, and you occupy the land, by law they can't throw you out because it's all a fraud. At any time, the Kana'ina family can bring back the entire trust, 500,000 acres. Because you see, Kamehameha III was a kahuna. Most people don't know that Kamehameha I trained his men as kahunas and his sons. And what they saw and what Kamehameha III saw is he never wanted his people to be dispossessed by their land. So all Kanaka Maoli had what is called ana alodio. Alodio, higher than freehold or fee simple. What that means is, remember Robin Hood, when King John and them, you know, they give you a title, alodio, forever. You're the lord of the land. Kamehameha III said, my father gave me all this land, and now I give this to my people. They're the lords of the land forever, and their children and grandchildren for 10,000 years. The interest of the land always goes back to the family. So people today, the problem was Kamehameha III did the right thing. The problem was nobody taught the people what their rights were. And what you have to do is quiet title in land court, in the Bureau of Conveyances, your genealogy, your royal patents, and your titles, and you get it back by their own law, and then you go occupy your land. Because under their law, it's all a fraud, and there's no statute of limitations on fraud. At any time, the Kanaka Maoli can take, under their law. Under their law. Most people don't know this. And so the challenge is for us to get out that information, because you don't need a king, you don't need a queen, you don't need Mike Lee, you just need your common sense and your kuleana and your genealogy, and do paperwork and take it back. You don't need permission from anybody to do it. It's your family's right at any time to pull it back. You don't need permission from nobody. You just go and do. And it's going to come back if you go and do. Now, in Spain, a lot of Europeans were doing this. They come, and we see this today on Maui and Kauai. Haoles come from the mainland, and they quiet title land that doesn't belong to them. And they get it. Why? The city, the state, when they come and quiet title our allodial lands, what do? They put million-dollar houses. We saw that in Wailea. We see that in Kauai. Well, what's behind that? The city and the state do what they call TMKs, tax map keys. That's real property taxes. What's in it for them? Hundreds of millions of dollars that they don't own, but they get it when they perpetuate the fraud. Okay, so they come in, and they love outside vultures coming in to feed off the carcass of our rights and our land, so that they have to fight their money against us, and that the city and the state doesn't have to use their money to fight against us. So what's going on Maui is from Ukumehame all the way to Olowalo. They're moving the road from the oceanfront highway up Mauka because they want to TMK all that land, give it to developers to put tax map keys for real property taxes, so that all the politicians get money for the unions to build houses, for the banks to do mortgages. That's what this rail thing is all about. It has nothing to do with bringing faster transportation. It's the hub and spine of opening up a corridor between the airport and all the way down Waianae for Labardier, who's the owner of First Hawaiian Bank, and the rail, to get mortgages for TMKs, for real property taxes for the state and the city, to make $1 billion off of Hawaiian lands. That's what this fraud is all about, and that's what people do not know. At any time, you can take it all back, like the Arab Spring and the Arab Summer. All those dictators, they kicked out. Why? They said, no more, stop. What we do as Hawaiians is, when we obey their law, when we obey their stuff, we're saying you have power and control over us. That's a verbal contract, because you see they run this corp council. Why is it corporate council? This whole thing is a corporate entity done as a corporate trust. That's not a real police department. That's a corporate security. Okay, they don't have legal jurisdiction under the Constitution, page 700. This is a law of political question. It's between the executive branch, the president, and the Congress, which is the Senate, to make a treaty for us to give up our land, which we never did. That's why they tried the Roe Commission. That's why they tried the Akaka Bill. And most Hawaiians do not know that the Act for Hawaiian Homestead was not, they felt sorry for us. They did it, and in the Hawaiian Homestead Act and in the contract says when you go for Hawaiian homeland, you give up your rights for allodial lands. They are seizing your landlordship and giving you scrub lands and saying, aren't you good little boys and girls? Most people don't read the contract. This has all been not the great seal, it's the great steal. That's what it's been about since Sanford B. Dole in July of 1902 went through all the Royal Trust lands, and you can find this at the archives on microfilm. It's in the 10,000 series. He went and crossed off Alodio and put fee simple. It's a fraud. It's all a fraud. This whole thing's a fraud by their own language. Can all be taken back legally. Just have to show up, do some research, pala on the table, certified, take it back. It's out there. Now, I said the Hawaiians have been bought off, and that's true. That big ol' ass SUV and all that's goodies that they give for the unions and the military and everything, keep the little boys and girls happy. But let me tell you, that ends the second week of September 2015. No more money to pay the military, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all of that stuff. But Tutu, with her Alodio lands and her stream and her spring and her chickens and mala and taro, guess what? People are going to start, their family going to be building an annex onto that. Because you can't eat the In God We Trust. That green bill, try eat it. See how good it tastes. It ain't satisfying at all. So when they can no longer buy up the Hawaiians anymore, guess what's going to happen? Wake up time is steal your land by their own law. We just have to get it out. How to put it together so that you go back on your land, Malataro. Why? In Molokai, 78 fish ponds, okay, in the federal government, they say illegal to take out the silt. Does that make any sense? 19 agencies in DLNR. If you want to repair one wall on a local ia in Molokai, you got to go through 19 agencies. Why? They want to be welfare recipients. Why? The state wants welfare Hawaiians because then it gives them a purpose for existence. The first time Hawaiians stand up and say, get out, get off my land, the local ia is coming up. The taro patches are coming up right now. We don't need you. Guess what? We don't need them. We fix all the local ias on Molokai. We can, hey, most of the Molokai people, 50% unemployment, they eat real good. They're hunting, they're fishing. It's all okay there. We've always been okay. When this American economy collapses and all the haulis are starving to death, guess what? We trade. Hey, for that lei, I'll give you 2 nets. Okay, for your water, I'll mow your lawn. Okay, for those coconuts we got here, we do barter trade all the time. We always have. We're going to be eating. We're going to be having water. We're going to get gas for our trucks. Even though there's no money running around. Because we kuka together. That's how it's always been. So we're gonna be fine. Hey, we know in the mountains where the opai is and we're going to be fine. Okay, you guys eat your dollar bills. That is worthless. But we're going to be okay. At that point, the huli is going to take place because in January of 2016, the whole world hulis, because they're all debtors too. So they're all in the same boat, sinking. But that's a wake-up call to say, a'ole, no more, a'ole pau, bye. So it's coming. 2 years, it's coming. So says the Papakilo Hoku. Because you can see it already. $7 trillion in debt now, $23 trillion by then. Where are they going to pay it? They already mortgaged their great-grandchildren's. Who are they? The great-great-great-grandchildren? We don't belong to them. This land isn't theirs. It's ours. At any time, we can bring back our sustainability by saying bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay? So this is part of the wake-up call to take back your kuleana. And if every Hawaiian did it, we're there. And as you know, the ali'is, there was never one ali'i. There was always lots. And it was the AHA Council that said, okay, you seem to be like you got your head together, so okay, we let you run. But the moment you get out of line is the moment we have war and we get a new one. So the thing is, when Kamehameha III, he made everybody lords of their land. So it's just to take it back. Carry your own damn water. Take it back. It's yours. You just have to reach out and get it. Okay? And then what Auntie Dawn says, you have to occupy. No empty talk. That's yours. You sit on it. You got 100 acres of kau. Get your ass down there. Start getting the spring, putting up your kapu signs and saying, here's our palapala. Where's yours? Okay, that's what this whole state is all about. State, where's your palapala? Saying you have this. Okay, when that international stuff came last year and the Queen occupied Iolani Palace, they arrested her, they went to court, she brought her palapala, it was dismissed. Guess what? This whole thing needs to be dismissed, which means get your genealogy and get your palapala. Dismiss! And that's what we want to tell everybody. Dismiss. You guys from outside, dismissed. We don't need you anymore. Thank you for putting our infrastructure in, but we didn't charge you rent and we didn't charge you interest for stealing our land and using it for us. So thank you for all of what you did, because you owed it to us anyway. So that's what this is about. It's doing it smart, and it's doing it with wisdom and knowledge, which we always did. You know, the Konane boards, they match up with the sky. They're playing more than games. They're using that for warfare. So we got to play it smart, and we got to use their laws to say, hey, where's your palapala? Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Okay, so this is the thing that is the challenge for the next generation to do. What we do in Maui, part of my practice is we olelo with akua noho stones. The akua noho stones are stones that are impregnated with spirits. And we do it on Maui. Wailea 670, developers come in. You have the ku stones here. Okay, the hina stone, and you have the oracle stone. I go to the oracle stone, put my hand on it, and it tells me where to find the ku and hina stone. And then I wash it with olena root, limukala, and then we have a conversation together. I get to the ku stone, and usually part of my practice is I spit the water on, and the ku stone says, don't spit in my face. I say, ooh, okay, you're kind of fussy. Okay, no woman can stand in front of this ku stone or it makes them sick, because a'ole wahine in my territory in front of me. You got to stand behind me. He's got his own protocol. Still spirit inside the stone. Still working. So I kuka with him and say, okay, now how does all of this stuff work? And then they tell you, oh, you see the different vines, the aviki-viki vine. Well, when the rain comes, the root takes 1 month to go in the pu'uvaina. It touches the pu'uvaina and it releases an antifungal, and it goes to the ocean, and the aviki-viki growing picks up that antifungal, and it shows me the red fish going to eat the aviki-viki limu, and they don't like the smell of it and they run away. Kumulipo, chant 1, 13 limos. What the plants in the mountain protect the plants than the limu in the sea. So they tell you how this is done. They tell you about the vili trees going into the pu'uvaina, and that's the only place they can grow, where the lava and the pu'uvaina is. And some trees hollow out and give you a direct access into the pu'uvaina, like Alice in Wonderland through the rabbit hole. And so they show you and they tell you what's going on. Do you think kahunas tried all the poisonous things and spit out and died and big tongue and everything? No. In our dreams, we're showed where, like this happened to me in 1994 by Kaimuki Fire Station. You know, there is the aloe growing over there. Well, I had a dream, 2 Hawaiian teenage boys in red malos, and they're standing behind 2 aloes, different flowers, one yellow, one orange. And so I said, aloha. They said, aloha. They said, this is my cousin. I'm going, cousin, not brother, no, cousin. So the aloes are cousin to each other. And the Amakuas are family, but cousins, not brothers. And so I said, well, tell me about your story. And the one with the orange flower, he said, you see this orange flower? I said, yeah. He says, good for the skin. Okay, you see my cousin over there? I said, yeah. You see the yellow flower? I said, yeah. It's good for the lungs. That's how we learn. In the other realm, okay, it's called Ike Papa Lua. Ike, what you know. Papa, the foundation. Lua, too. This living concrete life and the spirit realm. The plants tell us in our dreams, you know, we work real hard for you guys, but you know, listen to us. You guys used to talk to us. They showed me a purple aloe and where to get it, and they showed a knife cutting it. That aloe is like you put it on you and it's like freezing cold. And a bee sting you, the second you touch it, take away the sting. And they say, we worked on this one for 100 years for you guys, but you're not listening to us. What do they mean you're not listening? In your dreams, they talk to you. And some people, they actually talk to them. And you know those people, we call them green thumbers. Okay, and they say I talk to my plants and stuff like that, but they really do. Okay, so what happens when the United States collapses and Medicaid, they cannot do your drugs? Well, we have La'au that works really good and no side effects. So we got tutus with high blood pressure, we got people with cancer, we got conditions and stuff, but we got our own refrigerator, we got our own medicine and stuff that no more pala for that stuff. Okay, that's the difference. We got our own economy, always have, always will. So we don't need them. That's the whole thing. They want to convince you. Why do you think food sustainability is a big thing? Why do you think they made sure we had to depend on the mainland? Because they didn't own us. And they wanted to have a stranglehold over our neck. And why do you think they keep on trying to destroy our best lands? They want to keep us in a chain. Okay, we don't need them. That's what this is all about. Molokai bring back all their local ias by, we give to our family, we share with our neighbors. If we want to sell, we'll sell to the markets on the neighbor islands. Or once we fill that up, we can sell to Hong Kong or whatever. We don't need your stuff. We pop our shirts, we're in there. Okay? So it's all about how you think, whether you're going to give up your mana or whether you're going to take it back for your family kuleana. It's all about your family kuleana. That's what it is. It's not about ali'i. It's not about mo'i. It's about your family. That's what it's always been about. It's about life. It's about respect. It's about aloha. It's about dignity. It's about something that is very pono ea. Pono ea is very rarely talked about. But I took Hank to my 6th great grandfather's birthplace, Kahikili, and I'll pass it around. This is the portal you have to walk through, the Niho Palawa, and something that looks like a big pyramid. But when I do my chant, the Rainbow Bridge goes to Mauna Kea, because the family's connected, our family is connected to Pu'upole'ahu, where our family is buried. The 2 burial caves are at Lake Wai'au to get into Pu'upole'ahu. 4 springs feed from Pu'upole'ahu at Lake Wai'au, 4 springs. And so when Grandpa was born, Grandma's legs were spread apart, saddled, and he comes out looking through the portal, and the Rainbow Bridge goes to where our family comes from, the Big Island. Okay, so I'm going to pass this around, and you can see the Rainbow Bridge. And they told us, speaking to me, how to get back, because from the summit we had to walk 3 hours down to Grandpa's birthplace. And there's a cave where he was born, and you can see it. And this portal was here. And they told us, when you get back up, you have to retrace your steps exactly, and you have to tie your kiheis together. And when you get where that gray sand area is, you'll find out why. So we tied our kiheis together, the 3 of us. Amazing. We got up to the place, and they said, your moko auhau is going to make this happen so nobody can cross in front of you, or it will stop. So we tied the kiheis together. We step on the sand. The wind comes, and we become va'a canoes blown up to the top. And at the moment the haole wahine crossed my path, the moment the wind stopped. And I had to tell her, get behind me or it's not going to happen. The moment she got behind me, the wind went up and we blew, tracing our steps all the way back to the top. And we got up to the top, and when we turned around, a big pyramid, 10 times bigger than Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, was the 3rd matching set that appeared, showing this big pyramid of Haleakala in shadow, Aka shadow, and the 2 smaller mountains like the Belt of Orion. Nakoa, right there. And of course, we were given a Niho Palawa. I chose not to bring it because I thought that was too showy. So it was Tutupele's Niho Palawa that she brought. But you have to Listen to the ancestors, as Auntie said. It's called Pono Ea. People don't understand the Kahili rainbow. The Kahili rainbow stood behind the Ali'i through his two picos, here and here. If you listen to them and do the right thing, the rainbow will always stand. Hank saw that. As I was listening and following directions, for hours the rainbow stood behind us.
Every time we turn around.
Every time the rainbow stood behind us because we were listening. And when we had come down to the royal, it's an ancient riverbed up there, I could see the warriors saying, "Get out of here, this is sacred, why are you here?" So I had to chant my mokuau hau. And then they cheered and they said, "Vai kamo'i, vai kamo'i." This is the water of the bloodlines of the mo'i. And then they allowed us to pass. And then they told me, and Hank was there, "You're going to stumble, so put on your snow gloves." So I put on the snow gloves, and they watched me. I stumble, and I go fall real slowly coming down, and I hit the rocks. And then, oh, they're telling me I don't need, I'm not going to stumble anymore. And we keep on going. And they're talking to me all the way down and all the way back. What you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, it's all being downloaded. And they say the reason why I stumble is because iwi kupuna, and whenever you walk over your family iwi kupuna, you're gonna fall. And that happens in Eva. I fall, one little cut, tons of blood comes out just to mark the spot of the bloodline of the family. Just cover my walking stick with blood with just one tiny little cut. So it's getting back to our identity. Our weapon is our genealogy because that's who we are. We see all the Hawaiians go to the mainland for money, better lifestyle, and 20 years come back, oh, we empty up there. Oh, I need the ocean, I need everything. I'm dying up there because we're connected to the sea. We're connected to the ocean. You know, Hawaiiau, we are part of the ocean. The Ha in us has part of the seawater in it. We carry the breath of the sea in us. Our family is in the ocean. We came from there. Our uncle that we loved said, okay, when I die, take my iwi and my flesh and feed it to the shark I've been taking care of. I will akua noho that shark, and I will be protecting our family all the time. And that's how we get amakua. Not all sharks are your amakua, just the one that the family made to be amakua. That's the secret that nobody lets out. So the bottom line is, if we take back our identity of who we are, we're so powerful we don't need them. That's our sovereignty. And that's what's missing, is the sovereignty of who you are by your identity. You know that. You're already king and queen. You don't need anybody else. You're Akua's child. So who needs anything else? Just do your kuleana practice. Talk to the stones, talk to the mountains and the air and everything. It's okay. God made it so. It's when the missionaries came and said, ole, this is wrong, evil, king of the devil. That's how come we did it for 70,000 years. Our mokuau hau goes back 960 generations. They did perfectly fine before the missionaries came. So, in fact, they did better. In fact, we were in charge. After, we're not in charge. Hey, they're the ones who stole it. So the huli has to take place first in your soul, your heart, your mind, and spirit. And then we are teaching cultural practitioners. We took a group of women, 15 women, to Honolulu, to the big kohe stone, the grandmother of all talking stones. They're all connected to one stone, older than Haleakala. And she was really worried about the Hawaiian people. And when the queen was overthrown, she shut down many stones. She shut down many stones. Ka'ahumanu shut down many stones using Heva, the Heva Nui, the Kahuna of Kamehameha. They're chanting stones that chant. And they were all shut down because she wanted the missionaries to succeed. She wanted to huli the kapu system because she couldn't stay in power if it didn't go that way. So reawakening the stones, reawakening our culture, breaking the organic act. We're not apple pie, we're haloa. You know, we are poi, we are the kalo, we're not apple pie. And as soon as people get it through their souls that that's who we are, is when you get your identity back, who you are, and where your compass got a point now. And we use the stars for our compass, yeah? And we also, in our family, we use the Milky Way for our compass. And that's that's the mo'o in the sky, with our genealogy attached to the stars where they were born. Okay, so it's a matter of downloading what was closed. I was given the 6,000 kona of the Kumulipo, and it has our culture in there. We're going to bring it out in books coming out pretty soon. We've worked on manuscripts, and people have seen the manuscripts. But it's time for us to take it back. It's been released, but we have to take it back. So at this point, if anybody got any questions, please, feel free to ask or whatever. Auntie?
We want to invite you Saturday morning, 6 o'clock we start.
I'm in Eva. I have to catch bus. See, that's the problem.
We can get you.
Okay.
So that's our stuff.
Okay. Because I share this stuff and how to do this medicine and everything.
It's about mobilizing.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So then everybody start to give.
But I do teach. I do teach the stars. I do teach the limu and the medicine for the limu that I was taught, and the names and where to find them. And I have a 3-year class on Maui for them, and how to clean the sacred stones so that we wake them up and to touch and listen to them. Not all stones are pregnated with a spirit, so don't think they all talk. They don't. 99% do not talk. It's only the impregnated ones that talk. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Listen, this wonderful Kanaka Maori and we have the same grandfather from Kauai.
Yes. Yes. He's my uncle. Yeah.
But that's the way to move it.
Yeah.
Move it forward.
Yeah. Through knowledge and do practice. This is a big thing. It's not only knowledge, you got to practice. The law here, it don't protect experts, but it protects practitioners. I'll tell you, the Kahuna Maui, West Maui land case, I did what it's called Hawaiian Cultural Practitioners Assessment. I walked through the land of Kahuna. My family, 160 years, allodial patent, 2 acres at Panaeva, right in the neighborhood. Okay. My grandmother is Naomi Helena Naali'i Kekueva. Okay. My cousin, who was fighting against West Maui land, she had me as her cultural practitioner. I walked through the land. The first thing I noticed is, why is all this grass burned right to those pile of rocks? Why is it all, on the left and right, not burned, but why is this all burned? We go there, big mango tree caught on fire, burned from inside out. How can you burn inside out? Fall on 3 feet of dry grass, and the dry grass don't burn, but the tree burns from inside out. All charcoal. Okay. Find a golf ball melted with a toe mark on it. Toe mark. One big toe stepped on it, pushed the golf ball, and the next toe burned the backside of it, right to the core, burned. Well, that's tutupele. Okay. Big stone with like a mo'o on it, and then I talk to the stone, shows me where to get this like an egg stone that fits on top, where you pour the ava. This was Opelo Ha'ali'i's birthplace. That's Pele's and Kamapua's son was born on that property, born where that heiau was. Nobody knew. Tutu Pele came last year, July 3rd, on the Ku night, full moon. She came down, burned that whole place. They all walked through. Where they walked, burned. Where they didn't walk, didn't burn. And everything charbroiled right down to the stuff. Under oath, brought my moku'auhau to Tutu Pele and said, this is wahikapu. You cannot build any houses here. Wahikapu. A'ule. Imminent harm for anybody who comes here that's not Pele clan. They walked through here. People saw it. We brought the neighbors. 4 years before, that whole place burned on the 4th of July. 4 years before. When I do my kahiko practice, my whole hair turns white. And you'll see it in the pictures. My hair turns all white when I do kahiko, just like Tutu Pele. When I chant, it'll turn all black. And then 15 minutes later, it'll go back to salt and pepper. When I do the Papakila Hoku Vaihaka, the water mirror, and do the stone and everything up at Haleakala, my hair will turn all white doing it. And when I finish, it'll come back. And so, it's in your blood. It's all there. The repository of knowledge is in your blood. You just have to connect with it. And guess what? They talk to you and they tell you how to weave. Oh no, do that, not press it down here. They'll tell you how to do everything. You got the storehouse within your DNA. They will show you, they will talk to you. That's what we did all the time. Life is a prayer. Got up, prayed. Loko ia is a heiau. Ku stone, hina stone. It's a heiau to life. It's a living body made up of stones like our skin that breathes. Water can come through it, photoplankton can come through it, build up the foundation of the food source of life. And there's always a spring. The spring is the heart. There's a heart in every single place you go. There's a heart. There's a piko and a heart. Kill the heart, you kill the place. I can tell you, Oahu, as bad as it's been abused, still has a heart and still has a soul. You go to Las Vegas, it's beautiful, it's clean, plenty money, multicultural people, no soul, has no heart, been taken away. Okay, Hawaii still has a heart, still has a soul. We are charged by our ancestors. Everything saved us. The plants saved us, the fishes saved us, the limu saved us. Now we have to save it. We've been sponging off of it for years. We didn't sponge off of it. We actually made it grow. You know, fishermen today are thieves. The fishermen of long time ago, under the Konehiki system, were farmers. We planted the limu. We brought the limu. We cultivated the limu. We didn't take out the big breeders. We fed the fish sweet potato and kalo, and we changed their attitude. You feed any fish, whether it's aku or ahi, you make them vegetarian, they become calm. They become docile. They become like cattle. A lot of Western scientists think that the yellowfin tuna just eats squid and other fish. It doesn't. How do we know that? Because when we went fishing, we degutted them. We went right for the stomach. And what did we see? We saw that they were eating fruits from the mountain. How can? They fall inside the stream and it's taken. Kumulipo chant 1 says the broad stream and the narrow stream. The broad stream is the wahine that is on the top that takes everything from the mountain to the ocean, and it goes out to sea and they eat that. That's the whole okupu. If they have to choose between fruits from the mountain and some limu, they rather go for the fruits. And so it saves the limu. So the mountain plants are protecting the fish in the ocean. And we degut them and we know what they're eating and what season. So when we change the diet, we change their attitude. We change them and they become more pliable. Okay? So a lot of these things have been forgotten, but they can be taught to pass down and be remembered. We can bring it all back. There's a star constellation of Kane Makua. And in the center of Kane Makua, 2 stars, Makohilani and Makaha. Okay. They battle with each other. They're called the fighting stars. It's Kane and Kanaloa. Kane is the blue one, Kanaloa is the red one. Kane is Makohilani, and Makaha is, who else? Kanaloa. Why Makaha? The sluice gate. Open it up, close it. Open it up, close it. So this is a natural time clock. There are 2 stars, Algol and its sister Red Giant, and they go like this. And every 6 days it eclipses each other. So Hawaiian Kahuna say they're always fighting. Who comes out first in the head? Akua noho. We always did akua noho. Akua noho means akua, the spirit, noho, lives. So our constellations become possessed by whatever star that's coming through it, whether it's Maui. Maui is Mars. Ki'i is Jupiter. Papa Nui is Saturn. Okay, so when they come into a constellation of a body of a woman or a man, they take over the body. Because we have family members of the Pele clan that akua noho, and Hiaka will come in, and then, or Pele will come in and their skin will be hot, you throw water, steam will come in. Okay, so we always did akua noho. That was always part of the family situation. Because we shared everything. Nobody, me, you always shared. Share husband, share wife, whatever. Everybody shared, okay. So the bottom line was, even in the stars, the stars shared, and then they also had sex and stuff, the eclipse and everything. That's brother and sister, Niao Pio. It's a whole protocol that went on. So what takes place that we saw in the sky also took place on Earth. It was what we call the Aka shadow, the blueprint of reality up here is the blueprint of what takes place here. And it works in harmony if you pono ea. If you're listening, the piko here to Akua, the piko here to our Ivikupuna ancestors, Ohane, they talk to us here. If you put the veil to protect yourself because you're afraid, you won't hear them. Your fear will bring down the curtain and la 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 la, keep you safe. So it's a matter of teaching people, it's okay. There's certain things, there's certain stones that are impregnated with real evil stuff. I will tell you that. There's one big stone on the Waianae side that has a demon with claws that are 12 inches long. You know, I provoked it just to make it come out. Okay, the thing to fight that demon is you have to laugh. It don't like laughter. It runs away if you laugh. So everything has a place and a purpose. It's all how you're taught. Because if you understand, there is no fear, especially when you walk through that valley. And you know how everything's supposed to work. And you know where to skedaddle when it's not your place. And you know when it's your place. Hawaiians always say, don't go where you're not invited. Yeah? But what invites you is your moku au hau. If your bloodline is connected to the Akuas, guess what? You're invited. You're family. And you're all family. You're all connected to Wakea and Papa. Okay, the father and mother. So you are family. So what differentiates how comfortable you are is how much knowledge you have to be comfortable. But you're all invited if you have Hawaiian blood. And that's the thing people don't teach. Yeah. So it's a matter of getting it out.